Hello everyone, I'm Dameon Geppetto, and I've got a great deck for you today. I know I haven't come out with new decks since Phyrexia All Will Be One has come out because I've been testing all sorts of different things and trying to find the right stuff and actually work out the little as details instead of just cramming content down your throats. I am going and curating it and figuring out what works. And I finally have a Toxic deck for you. That's right. Toxic is not as strong as I thought it'd be, but it is fun and it is pretty good. But this is not what everybody else is doing. This is something different. This is a Golgari Toxic deck with Tyvar. Nobody else is giving you Tyvar love, but I'm here to do it for you. So go ahead, stick with this video, and we will give you something that will not only give you quick games, but it's gonna give you some wins and possibly move you into that next bracket. That's right. So go ahead, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch for more content. But let's hit that fire intro and then bring you the deck. All right, what do we have here but a deck with all 3 mana or less? That's right, there's not a single spell in this deck that is over 3 mana. This is all small ball, but it still works. There's no big bad spells. We're running a black deck without Shieldred, without Invoke Despair, and it's kicking absolute butt. And that's because the concept is simple. It is toxic, it is killing you with toxic, and Tyvar is bringing back the bad beasts that they get rid of. Because if you're playing standard, there's a lot of removal. What do you do with a lot of removal? You bring things back from the graveyard, or you protect them. This deck does both. So let's get into it. First off, we've got Billis Skull-Dweller. This is a 1/1 for 1 mana that has Death Touch and Toxic 1. Perfect cast on turn 1. Not only does it get in and get the Toxic poison counters on your opponents right away, but it is a really good target for removal. So you can find out if your opponent has removal from turn 1. You throw this out and it basically lets you know whether or not you can get your bigger, more deadly creatures out. Tamio's Safekeeping, clearly to protect our creatures here. Thirsting Roots, well, we got 3 of these. This searches your library for a basic land card or proliferates. When you draw this later in the game and you got enough land, you don't need to worry about it. Boom, proliferate, add 1 more poison counter on the opponent. If you have Tyvar out, it adds a poison counter and it gives him another loyalty. Everybody should know about this card by now. Venerated Rot Priest, this is the most broken card of the new set. It is a 1 mana, 1/2 creature with Toxic 1 that whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter. This is love. You put this with the Safekeeping, you put this with the March so you can get a second one out, and the Tyvar stand here on the 1 slot, and you protect it, and every time they try to remove it, boom, they get a poison counter, then you protect it. They gotta remove it twice, protect it again. It just makes the poison counters go up and up and up and up and up. But it's not just about the Rot Priest. We've got 4 Anoint with Affliction. This is our only removal in this deck. 4 of them because exile target creature if it has mana value 3 or less. Corrupted if they have 3 poison counters or more. Exile any creature. 2 mana, you can get rid of Shieldred. You can get rid of AO. You can get rid of any threat out there. Instant speed. This is a great spell with a Toxic deck. Now, this card right here is what makes this deck so strong. Necrogen Communion. It's an enchantment. You enchant a creature you control, that creature has Toxic 2. It adds 2 Toxic to your already toxic creatures. 1 Toxic becomes 3 Toxic. When the creature dies, you return it to the battlefield under your control. So you can attack with the creature, i.e. the Skull-Dweller that's got Death Touch. It kills off whatever blocks it, and it comes back. It doesn't have 3 Toxic anymore. It has 1, but it's still a Death Touch out there to block. Now, what you want to combine this with is this creature right here, Pestilent Siphoner. It's a 2 mana 1/1 flyer with Toxic 1. You might say, oh, that's a little weak. 2 mana for a 1/1 flyer. No. That Toxic is big. You get this thing out on turn 2 and they don't remove it, you're hitting them with Toxic flying over the top. You throw that Necrogen Communion on here, boom, 3 Toxic every time it hits. 10 poison counters wins the game. And here in the 3 slot, we've got Blood Pack. I got 2 of these. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. This is just to get a little card draw in the games when you don't get get things going right. It's good to draw late in the game because you draw one card, boom, you draw two more. Life is not an important thing with this deck. You're trying to poison counter your opponent. You're not winning the games by nicking them down to 0 health, so don't worry about your health with this deck. And we got one Phyrexian Arena. You could make an argument to get rid of the blood packs, add another arena. Maybe you want to run Bloated Contaminators, which is another great 3-drop. I had a Bloated Contaminator in here, but I took it out because I found that with Tyvar can only bring back creatures that are 1 or 2 mana, and if the Bloated Contaminator is the only creature in the graveyard, Tyvar is pretty useless. But this is a legendary planeswalker for 3 mana. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. That has no use in this deck. We're not using that. We're using the +1 untap 1 target creature. You attack with the 1/1 Death Touch Machine. Nobody wants to block it. Boom, you attack, boom, Tyvar, untap it. Now it's blocking. Oh, whoops, do it again. They actually block, they lose their creature, the Death Touch goes in the grave, bam, -2. Mill 3 cards, then you can return a creature card with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. You pull it back and now you have a Death Touch blocker, or you pull out the Siphoner that you need, or maybe you pull out a Rot Priest and you got spells. This is synergy. Combos are great, but the more cards you need in a combo, the harder it is to get it off. The best is a deck that has a theme that synergizes, and if you draw one thing with another random thing, they work together no matter what those things are you draw. And this is what this deck does. This deck took me from the bottom of Diamond 4 all the way up to Diamond 1 in 1 4-hour play session. This is the best Toxic deck I played. It is better than the Rot Priest Ivy copy deck in Simic. It is stronger than that deck because each of the things work on their own. As long as you get a creature and as long as you get a spell, you're fine. You might have to mulligan a little bit more with this deck than you would with some other decks. But if you're not afraid to mulligan and get yourself a good starting hand, whether that's 7, 6, or 5 cards, you will be off to the races and putting your opponent on the defensive and dictating the pace of the game. And that, my friends, is always fun. Making your opponents trip over themselves trying to stop what you do is how you win in Magic the Gathering. Let's go ahead and go over the lands, and then we'll get into the gameplay. As you can see, I'm a little weird. I put different artworks here because I feel like it helps with the shuffler. I picked some cool artworks. We got 2 Takanumas, 3 of each on the swamps and the forest, the basics, and then I got 2 more forests. You could do 2 Boiju Who Endures instead of this second forest here. We got 2 Deathcap Glades, and we got 2 Jungle Hollows, and that brings us to a total of 20 lands, folks. This is a 20 land deck, and you're going to draw plenty of lands. You only need 3 mana to get everything off, and with this Thirsting Roots, if you're stuck on 2, you draw Thirsting Roots, there's your 3rd. You got 4 land, everything in this deck works great. Anything else is gravy, and I'm telling you, this deck just works. So let's get into the gameplay from last night. Sacrifice spells and Path of Perils are the downfall of this deck. So we're going to lose to those decks a lot if we don't get like this. Now this, they want me to win. Look at this. Three lands, a Necrogen, and an Anoint with Affliction. They're like, okay. We kind of put our whole entire butt on the scale the last couple games. Let's try and give you a chance here. But it's still mono black. And this is why I can only play these decks this so much. I'm not going to be able to do Toxic for the whole set just because they're just so limited. And the matches you play against are it's just the same decks over and over. It's just the same decks. It's mono black, here's some mono red, mono black, toxic, mono black, toxic, mono black, toxic. Okay, a random something if we want you to win. But that's all you play against, and it gets annoying. It really does. I'm going no attacks. We're going to end it because we're going to march. That's the plan. Okay, no blocks. That's why I didn't do anything, because I had no protection. So instead of throwing the Skull Dweller or the Communion, I figured we'd march, get out our second Rot Priest, and then we get going like this. Fine. I'm going to leave the Necrogen for next turn. We'll Anoint. We're going to do Anoint on whatever the best creature is. They're still stuck at 2 lands. So it's like I said when I looked at the opening hand, I said it wants me to win. And look, it's screwed them on their land draw. How is it that I can predict a win before I even see what I'm playing against my opponent? And I can predict the loss before I even see what I'm playing against. Just by looking at my opening hand, I can tell you whether the game wants me to win or lose. Great starting hand. We'll take it. Get out the Skull Dweller first. See if they've got anything. They got nothing. So we get out. Instead of getting out the Rot Priest, they got no blockers. Let's do that 3 right away. Alright. Do it again. Get one of our Tyvars out. We finally get to see Tyvar in action. Untap. That way, I mean, it's green. Who knows? They might throw red down. They might be Gruely. We don't know. Loaded Contaminator. Okay. Do that. They gotta lose it. Comes back. Throw out that. Throw out that. And we don't need to submit any. We'll just make them 5. Because I don't need to mill. There's no reason. There's no ultimate on Tyvar. Tyvar, this is what Tyvar is useful for. I haven't found any cards to make the haste. But look at that. Two quick games because our opponents just couldn't get going. This is why people play aggro decks. This is why they play them. Because your games are fast, man. Alright. We'll see what they do. Okay. Let's get the Skull Dweller out. See if they got removal. Evolved Sleeper a lot of times just goes all in on the Sleeper. No blocks, whatever. Do your damage. We're gonna race. You do damage. I'm gonna do poison counters. How about that? How about that, huh? Alright, we'll get you out. That was the plan all along. Okay. That's an easy choice. Alright, we gotta go this way. We anoint you. I probably should have waited. Oh well. That was a mistake. I play too fast. That's why I'm good with these aggro decks, because I just make a decision to go with it. Whatever. I make mistakes, you learn from them. Yeah, I probably should. Well, no. Getting rid of that, I should have let them pump into it and then got rid of it, but that was my mistake. I was still going to get rid of it over the Trespasser, but... Necrogen Communion, come on. Give my flyer some love. Corrupt Court Official, go ahead. I ain't gonna block. What do you think, I'm crazy? Oh, another revive. Alright, so let's go all in. We knew that's coming. Okay, 0, confirm 0. Just slowly work them down. I was gonna do Tyvar, and I said no. I changed my mind. We'll get rid of the Corrupt Court Official, and then we'll attack with everything next turn. Oh, okay. All right, we get rid of you. We've won 2 in a row, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised we're flooding like this. We got nothing in there. They got rid of it. They got Graveyard Hate. That's why it goes mono black when it wants you to lose, folks. It's simple. Graveyard Hate, Invoke Despair, they're all stuff that is a good combination against this deck. It's just that simple. I don't want to lose my stuff in the graveyard with Tyvar. This algorithm is not dumb. They're smart. Okay, Liliana, see? I mean, they drew everything they needed. Okay, you won 2 games in a row. We're going to make you lose. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. What can I say? We lost 2 in a row. We won 2 in a row. And we draw this. Submit 2. And we're going to lose it anyway, so we might as well take a risk. This deck is not the best deck in the world. It's fun, though, because it's quick. It's easy. When it goes off, it's great. And that Necrogen Communion is a great card. But if you don't get the Necrogen Communion on the Billow Seeker or the Pestilent Flyer or the Rot Priest early, it's really hard to win the game. It's just like the copy deck, the Ivy copy deck with this Rot Priest. Great deck, but if you don't get your combination, if you don't get the Rot Priest out early, or you don't get protection for, your stuff. Look at this, mono black again. Look at this. It's like, okay, you want, and this is why people are mad at the game, because the matchmaker, it's just mono black. I played 7 games, and 6 of them have been against mono black. It's not fun. Like, you gotta give me something other than mono black. Like, seriously. You gotta be kidding me there. You gotta have something besides mono black. Alright. Let me go like this. Get you out. Put the protection on. But it's like I said, if it wants me to lose, it gives me mono black decks that have Path of Peril or Graveyard Hate in it. It's that simple. Oh, I probably should have put the Necrogen on. We'll wait. I'm not going to do Tyvar. Alright, well, let's draw a couple cards. They're stuck at 2 lands, so he wants me to win it. Alright, let's do this time. And we win. Just like that. See how quick that is? So if it gives me the hand and it screws my opponent, they don't get a bunch of removal. Boom. They didn't have 5 removals in their hand, so I survived. Aggro's a lot easier to prime for the shuffler too. Alright, let's get the land. Since we have 2, let's get another forest. And we go double forest instead of the swamp. Because if they try to kill off the Rot Priest, we march and we get rid of Tyvar. That's the plan. If they go for the Rot Priest. If they go for it. Like I said. So we go like this. See? Shielded Edict if it wants me to lose. It's pretty simple. So we go like this. Put on our Necrogen Communication. And do our damage while we can, because they're going to have another Shielded Edict because it wants me to lose. But the Rot Priest comes back if they kill it. That's the good news. It just won't have the extra 2 toxic. It'll just be 1 toxic instead of 3. Oh, Flesh Taker? I did not see that coming. Okay. Alright, let's get that out. And we'll do that because it's sorcery. And we're not going to attack this turn. We'll go next turn. See what we can draw. Yeah, they can't attack. Perfect. And just say good game. Nothing they can do. It was easy like that. Boom. So, this is a fast deck, man. It's a fast deck. If it goes off, it goes off. Alright, we'll keep this. It's gonna be mono black. No, mono red to mono red. Okay, they're like, you lost to mono red. We found a solution. Here we go. Here we go. Burns? Oh no, is it? They're throwing a little curveball my way. I'm so used to playing the same decks over and over again until you beat them. Trying to beat the shuffler, you can't beat the shuffler. There's a reason why you don't hear stories about people beating the odds of a slot machine. It doesn't happen. You don't beat the odds of a slot machine. This is not poker. This is not a game of or blackjack where you can count cards and actually like really do what affect change. Like no. That's not how it works. I would say get more realistic dreams. That would be my solution for you. All right. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm not wasting my one forest on another rot priest. We got backup. Make them get rid of it. That's why I'm not doing it. Make them do it again. You'll set up with King of England. Oh God. Go to bed then. That you got a better chance of being King of England in bed. All right. All right, well, we got to do it. Let's draw 2 cards. There we go. We got another Rot Priest. There we go. 3rd Rot Priest. But yeah, no, I mean, you can... The best suggestion I can give people is don't play too long. So I found it out last night. It's about 4 hours on a session is the max you can do before it'll start forcing losses your way. The best thing you can do is if you go on an amazing streak, the second you lose a game, quit. That's the best you can do. Is when you go on an amazing streak, the second you lose a game, just quit. That's the best advice I can give anybody out there. Is don't give your money back to the house. Right? Right, Jaguar? Don't give your money back to the house. Take your money and run. Right? You won the jackpot, don't put more money in another slot machine. Just walk away for the day. Say, I'm up. I can buy a steak dinner. We're good. It's a weird proliferate deck here. Yeah, they're gone. There we go. We're crushing with this deck, though. We're doing well. Ever since the new update, every one of my decks is 50-50, except my bad decks that I'm working on. So I'm at like 45% win rate. I was always 55% win rate before. Now, granted, it's a new set, so I'm working on stuff. There is no creatures, so let's go like that. Let's keep 6, and we'll get rid of... Let's get rid of Tyvar's. I mean, this is not going to win any tournaments. This deck is not going to win any tournaments. What it's going to do is it'll get your dailies done really quick. That's the best you can do, is get your dailies done really quick with it. Because you're going to be in and out of games like boom, 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 boom. And then you move on. Don't cancel that. And you don't have to think. You don't have to think to play this deck. You just do it. You just go. What the hell? What is this thing doing? Okay. Holy crap, what do they have? We got ourselves a 90 card decker, 80 card decker. It always sucks seeing dot touch. That's what I figured. So yeah, Lawson, that was an amazing Super Bowl. I mean, it went down to basically the last play, so you can't knock the hustle of the teams. They both came to play. That's what you want in the best game of the season. What else you got? All right, do your 5. Oh, they had the double fight. Oh, that's not cool. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. I didn't say you could do that. All right, let's get him out. I think we need to bring our Rot Priest back out. Or, yeah, let's bring him back. Why not? It's the whole point of him. It's just to get my Rot Priest after they kill him. There was 2 Tyvars in a row. Literally 2 Tyvars and then a Necrogen. Yep, nothing wrong with the Shuffler, folks. Nothing wrong at all. Just a poison race. That's fine, he's gone. What do they have? Another Cankerbloom, okay. Interesting. Alright, so let's get rid of that one. I had Bushwhack in my deck, and I got rid of it for the Thirsting Roots. What do you have? Do you have protection? You're gonna fight again? Okay. I mean, I guess that's a good play to have it in the deck. We'll proliferate this way. Probably should have attacked with both of them. Just gone full aggro. Yeah, they're scared now. Okay. That's why you got the Mishras. Let's do this. Just land. It wants us to lose. Alright. We'll replace it. End the turn. Now we're on the mercy of the draw, and we just drew 2 lands in a row, so we're in trouble, folks. 20 lands in the deck. I had 18, I put more in it, because it just was, at 18 it was just getting droughted way too often. I was 1 and 2 and never getting lands, so the 20 is pretty much needed. Another Cankerbloom, okay. They're bringing it back. I've seen a lot of people playing this in the mono green poisons, but Tyvar is better than that. Like, that proliferates, but Tyvar can untap creatures, it can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's just giving us all land. What can you do? Oh, wait. We can talk Enuma. Alright, we'll go no attacks. What can we bring back? Oh, we can bring back Tyvar. That's right. Alright, we can't cast it anyway, so we'll wait till their turn. Oh, and we had a March coming too. Damn it. And another freaking land. Just what I wanted. They'll block and then they'll proliferate. That's a good play. It's a good play. I like what they're doing, but I get to keep my Skull Dweller that way, though. So, yeah, you get to proliferate, but I keep my Skull Dweller. I've seen people using that, but I just don't think you're going to win a long game. Like, we're going to get lucky maybe, but... Okay, we get rid of you, we get rid of you. Oh, put the Siphoner out. This is the longest game I've played with this deck. Okay. It's interesting. This is how I started kind of with my deck. When I was building this deck, I had Canker Blooms, I had Fangus Rugeki. I had these in the deck. We're just gonna let it go because it's such. We're at 8 of poison. We just need 1 spell. It's fine. He got out the flyer. That's the good news. We did what we have to do. We just need to hope we draw a spell and we can stay alive. There we go. That's a game. Might as well.